Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I want to make this a very quick video in this first instance. I want to talk about two more inks from Kiwi Inks. Now, the other day I spoke about Red Panda, and please watch that video and jump on the cause if that's something you can and want to do. But these two inks are two more that I was sent out, and I want to talk about them very briefly. I will go into these in more detail at later dates. I just wanted to show them very quickly now. They are these two inks, Erasable Purple and Quetzalcoatl. Now, I hope I'm saying that relatively closely to correctly. Just bear with it. So, two very different inks. They both come in the sort of standard Kiwi Inks bottle. Kiwi Inks being an American-based ink manufacturer who do really awesome things, like with custom inks and inks with interesting properties and sheening and shimmer and all of that kind of stuff. And these two are really up there in that. So I just have them on rhodia paper. I've just some basic writing samples with them. And let's talk about Erasable Purple first. It's called Erasable Purple, and there's a number of these erasable inks because they are erasable. Yes. In the same way that like a Pilot friction pen is erasable, I believe this uses the same thermo process to make it erasable. And I have it also here on a coloring card, I should say. This ink is really interesting. It's not an everyday ink. Absolutely not an everyday ink. It performs differently in pens. You are not going to want to put this in expensive pens, but in terms of like even just the novelty factor, it's kind of cool. You can buy these little like erasers. I broke mine already. For erasable pens, or you can use Pilot friction eraser. And you can see I drew some lines here and then just did an erase through it. And I'll just do the same here through this squiggle here. So you can see just by applying that friction, you are able to erase the ink. Now it works in the same way that if you put it, so that's done through heat. So the friction causes the heat and causes the ink to change its property. It's not erased, it's still on the page, it's just changed its property. You can still make it out there, but if you make a mistake when you're writing, it's just cool. It's just very cool. Interesting water resistance. That's where I put water down and then dabbed it up. It kind of took up a lot of the ink, but left, sort of a faded, fuzzy version of it there. You can see the actual ink color itself is quite pleasant. It's sort of a gray purple. It's not super vibrant. It's not super dark. It's kind of nice. And if we look at it in the bottle, you can see it's kind of, there's like a pigmenty kind of quality to the ink, which is cool. And you sort of give it a good shake before you use it, and it sort of mixes it all up, and it's nice. It's an interesting color. It's got some hints of reds and pinks and things coming through. It does have a slow dry time, all of that. But because it works on that heat, if you then put it in the freezer, and I'll show a picture here of something I did. I erased it like this, and then I put it in the freezer, and an hour later it looked like this. So the ink does sort of kind of become invisible if things get cold. But that's a really interesting ink. So Erasable Purple from Kiwi Inks, super cool, very interesting. And then we get Quetzalcoatl, which is a really fun ink. Now, Kiwi Inks have made a lot of inks that they sort of do these like tricolor inks where you get like the color of the ink, then the color of the sheen, then the color of the shimmer. And this is one of those. So we've got like a reddy pink kind of ink with this beautiful, rich, vibrant green gold sheen, and then this blue shimmer in it. It's really awesome. It's a beautiful, like if you're into these kinds of inks, this is great. This works well in pens. It feels good in pens. I just had it in a pen with a regular Yovo broad nib, and it writes beautifully. It yes, it's a shimmer ink, so you do have to be careful with pen hygiene and all of those kinds of things. You can see in the bottom of the bottle here all the particles there. So you are getting those particles in your pen and feed, so when you do clean it, make sure you clean it properly. This is the water resistance. You can see it kind of moved around a lot because to make these inks work, they have to be super concentrated. So as soon as you reactivate them with water on the page, they just spread like crazy. So if you get it on your desk, it's gonna, or on your hands or whatever, like that's this ink. You're gonna get it kind of everywhere. Once again, I have it on a coloring card here, and you can just see how vibrant that sheen is. A bit of shimmer sort of showing through there, and then the more standard of the reddy pink tone. But a beautiful ink. Kiwi Inks do really interesting things. I reviewed a number of their inks a couple of years ago, including what I call the Hurricane Purple, which is where you send in a code, like the color code, and they create an ink to that color. I love that you can get to choose things like the wetness of the ink and all of those kinds of things. So I've really enjoyed using these particular inks, like the purple for, you know, for the novelty factor perhaps, and the Quetzalcoatl, just because it's such an interesting, vibrant ink, and that shimmer and everything is beautiful. So check out Kiwi Inks. As I said, check out my last video, the Red Panda one. Get on board with that cause if that's something you are capable and want to do. But this is just a brand in general that I really, really enjoy. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. All of that kind of stuff. Thank you to Kiwi for sending out these inks, and a big thank you to you, my audience, for watching and supporting the really cool companies that I get to deal with. So in the meantime, enjoy your inks, and I'll talk to you soon.